Well, hello everybody. This is Grace on a Journey, and you are listening to Angelic Healing Express. This is a place for mature audiences in all seasons to grow spiritually and make new friends. Welcome to the newcomer, and to those of you returning, my fellow travelers, welcome back. We are happy to have you. I am divine. I am intuitive. I am expression. I am love. I am powerful. I am creative. I am safe. Balance is the fruit of the universe. We love. We share, we learn, we grow, we laugh, we forgive, we improve, we self-care, we let go and fly above the drama. May our minds work together to find mutual understanding. May I see you true and be seen by you. May our words reveal more than they obscure. Most of all, may our minds, eyes, and tongues be guided by our hearts and the language far older than words. So I'll begin with our meditations. This meditation is in Old English, but I enjoy Old English, and it will be familiar to a lot of you. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She considereth a field, and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengthened her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all of her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates. When he sitteth among the elders of the land, she maketh fine linen, and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Now, what was brought to my attention is to recommend researching crystals. I've mentioned it to our fellow travelers before, and I believe it will be helpful to you to know more about crystals. I was guided to a page in one of the books that I own. And funny enough, it's not a book on crystals, but the page just opened to that particular page where they shared about crystals. And although I know the name, I'm asked not to share the name. You see, as a guide, I guide you. You need to do the homework. You need to connect with your guides and your angelic teams, those of you that are in alignment to those beliefs. And the crystals that will favor you and your path will come to you by way of your intuition. This crystal in particular, it assists with downloads and is used for inner and outer journeys. It helps you raise your vibration. It allows you access between various planes of consciousness, allowing for clear communication. It enhances your spiritual perception. It casts out all that is superficial to spiritual development. It assists with discernment. It allows your heart to open fully and your soul's purity to be made manifest on earth. It's a healing energy that takes you beyond the confines of the earth plane into a space where you learn to nurture yourself by letting go of the past to find inner peace. It heals, strengthens, and renews. That's a lot to offer, right? As I said, this is a recommendation, not a requirement. And I will repeat as you entertain these episodes, take what you want and leave the rest. With that, I was asked to share with you certain issues regarding your health. How to anchor in healing into your existence. Those of you with bone problems, it is believed to be due to rebelling against authority spiritually. An affirmation for that is, in my world, I am authority. For I am only one who thinks in my mind. When it comes to issues with your bowels, bowels represent the release of waste. Issues regarding such relates to fear of letting go of the old and no longer needing. Some affirmations. Letting go is easy. I freely and easily release the old and joyously welcome the new. I am the loving operator of my mind. Issues with breasts represents a list of things. Symbolically, breasts represents mothering and nurturing. And nourishment. Now, those of you that have cysts, lumps, soreness, it's in relation to a refusal to nourish the self, putting everyone else first, over-mothering, over-protection, overbearing attitudes. Represents the ability to take in life. Wow. That has to do with breath, not breasts. So when I'm done reading breasts, I will read breath. Some affirmations for breasts. Those of you that have issues regarding your breasts. I am important. I count. I now care for and nourish myself with love and with joy. I allow others the freedom to be who they are. We are all safe and free. Now, since breath interjected, breath represents the ability to take in life. Breathing problems are associated with fear of refusal to take in life fully, not feeling the right to take up space or even exist. Now, some affirmations regarding breath. I love life. It is safe to live. Confirmation. Somebody needs to know it is safe to live. I received that. It is my birthright to live fully and freely. I received that. I am worth loving. I received that. I now choose to live life fully. Ashe. Now, although that my relationship with angels are undeniable, a great part of my life, today, it was like a family reunion in my world. I received a lot of messages. And from many places. Outdoors, indoors. It was a beautiful day. And the good news is I have some information to share with you. One being, it's time to heal. One of the ways you can heal is to accept what you've experienced. Since we like to consider the entire journey, some of you were abused in your childhood or experienced some type of trauma or crisis, and you've been in denial all of your life. In fact, the coping mechanisms that you use are not aligned with your highest good. That could be in relation to the cultures that we were born into and the stigmas in relation to mental wellness and the acts of self-care. Self-care to some families meant going to church. I applaud the high vibrational contributions of organized religions. But I repeat, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And as we include organized religion as part of our journey, we must not neglect that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And in the awareness of who you are, we have to embrace self-care in relation to spiritual wellness. Now, how you do that is your decision. I am here to guide you to these options that you may select from, and to afford you stories that prove theories, experiences that help you carry away wisdom. So, accept what you've experienced. That will assist you with whatever addiction that you are experiencing, even if it is an addiction to a person, people, place, or things, or energies. Acknowledge it to yourself. Begin with self. And continue with God. And continue building a support system. I am not going to tell you to rely solely on a spiritual support system. I would invite all reliable resources that you have access to or that you have been recommended to. Okay? That can be a doctor, that could be a counselor, a therapist, that could be a pastor, a teacher. You choose. You co-create your life, whether you believe it or not. Where you are in your life is in relation to the choices you've made in your life. So, due to your need for healing, and I hear some of you saying, I'm good. I don't need any healing. That is I'm choosing my words wisely. It is unmasking the fact that you're in denial. If you remain in this reality, is because there are still lessons to be learned, and there are still healing processes that need to occur. And that is nothing but the truth. In some respect, we are all students. Some of us were also called to teach. So we wear more than one hat. But we are being guided into the direction of music therapy for today. Be alert to the music that you voluntarily listen to and the music that you run into. When I say run into, you may be at a doctor's office and they're playing music. You may be at the supermarket and they're playing music. You may be at church and they're playing music. Connect the dots. What messages are being released to you by way of the music? Some of these songs, and I'm also being led to say, sometimes it's in combination. It's not just the lyrics. Music is a frequency, and it offers connection, sometimes to types of emotions. There are studies in regards to that. You see, this is why some babies at a very early age, you can utilize wisdom. Wow! I was going to say you can utilize music to soothe them, to comfort them. But everyone is being guided to use wisdom. Especially in your act of raising your children. Some songs make them laugh. Some songs make them cry. Some music make them happy. Some music make them sad. Those of you that had offered your children classical music since they were in your belly, and when they were born, you continue having them listen to classical music. If you pay attention to their interaction to the music, sometimes their face will be sad because the music is sad. Sometimes their face will light up because the energy is energizing. The music, the music rather, but I said the energy. So pay attention to the energy that you allow around your children. But as I was saying, the music affects them. If you're playing something fast, they may be moving fast. You know, something you may want to try that I used to do with mine is allow him to listen to music and do art. Whether it was drawing or painting. Sometimes when he was even younger, before he could write, I used to have him in his high seat, and I would put shaving cream on the table of the high seat, and I would use food coloring, different colors. Maybe today I would use blue or green. Tomorrow I could use orange or yellow, but I always tried to use more than one color because it would capture their attention. And I put music on, and he would put his little fingers in the shaving cream and just make a mess. But it's like he was interacting with the music. I know these things because everything I learned, it doesn't matter how long ago it was, maybe even stemming from my childhood and lessons I learned in school. What worked for me, I captured it because I like to share what works. If it worked for me, it may work for you. And so, right out of high school, my first job was at a daycare. I had, I believe, 11 students that were 1 year old. No, they were 2 years old. When I had the 1 year olds, that following year, I had 5 students. But when I first got a job at a daycare, I had 11 2-year-olds. And yes, some of them were not diaper trained, potty trained, rather. And so it was hard work. But due to that type of setting, routinely, staff would have to go to meetings and sometimes workshops to continue with development. And I learned a lot regarding not only how you can teach children of all ages, but therapies that are successful with children. And so I kept that knowledge with me. And one of the reasons why I have a lot of material in relation to healing is because later on in life, I went into counseling, case management. We had meetings, we had workshops. I still have all the material, and sometimes I laugh about it. Yesterday, actually, I was laughing about, I was God. So all this time, I kept all of these papers, all of these books, collecting dust for today. You know, it's amazing. Things that I've had over 10 years ago. I still have them because I still had some type of connection to them because I knew they were of value. And I like to teach. And so although I didn't know when I would have ever gotten the opportunity to teach spirituality, welcome to today. My earlier days, I was on the path of teaching in alignment to organized religion. I worked 5 days a week with children, and on Saturdays, I was a youth leader. And on Sundays, I was a Bible school teacher. Maybe 12 or more years. After teaching Bible study, either I was ushering or I was playing drums. Confirmation. And because I am in integrity, when I felt confirmation that I was in disalignment to some respect, we all have those seasons, I stepped down. I'm never the type that gets caught at doing anything because I am my own judge. If I feel that I can't deliver my best, I step down. I'm not going to be teaching Bible study classes or Sunday school classes. Meanwhile, I'm in a relationship that is interfering with my walk. We have to learn to accept our reflections. It's okay. You're having a human experience, remember? We are not perfect. We are imperfectly perfect. Remember? And so we all fall down, and we all must learn to get up. When you get up, you straighten up. But what I've learned in connections to those who need some type of rehabilitation is that Some of them need to reach their lowest low until that is possible, right? That stems from them having a lot of enablers in their house. Wow! I was going to say enablers in their life, but I said in their house. Some of them live with enablers. You know what that is connecting to? The meditation from earlier. A virtuous woman will help you heal, will help you detach from people, places, and things that are not in alignment with your highest good. They have foresight, they have wisdom, they have patience. They have love, they have understanding. And we all have free will. Every season, you are granted opportunities to make another choice and another choice and another choice. And hopefully, we can learn to begin to make choices that assist us in the direction of ascension. One thing I believe is ascension is in alignment with going forward, not backward. So even if you feel as if you walked into something that caused you to regress in life, you were doing better before you entered that new season in your life. You're not being called to go back to the past. You're being called to start over again. So, meditate on those words and ask for direction and strength. Let me strengthen you right now. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Ashe. So, as I was sharing earlier, we need to invite healing music into our world. Now, what I like about my angelic team is there is recommendation for routine, but they have various ideas and therapies. And so, although I am sharing about music therapy right now, you are being guided to explore all different types of therapies that can assist your healing. Now, before I continue regarding music therapy, I just had a vision. Water can be therapeutic. I took a class called Dialectical Behavior Therapy, and I learned that when some people get angry, to de-escalate the anger, you get a bowl of water, you add ice, it's frozen, and you dip your face in the bowl, and you take it out, and then you dip your face, and then you take it out. You may want to do it 10 times or less times or more times. But water can help. Some people take cold showers. Some people, for example, if you feel overwhelmed and frustrated and you need to relax, you take a warm shower. There are opportunities to take bubble baths, to just treat yourself, and to use scented salts. You can use regular Epsom salt, confirmation, so that is being encouraged. Regular Epsom salt or sea salt, and then add the essences that you like. Sometimes people use roses, sometimes people use the scent of lilies or honey. You know, there are different scents. You need to begin to take the direction of self-care by way of exploration. If what you was doing, but because I said wasn't, that means some of you are not doing self-care. But if what you did try to do, those of you that have been trying, have not been effective, then you are being advised to move further down and choose the following options. Okay, maybe I didn't enjoy the scent of roses because I didn't feel it was strong enough. I felt it was too light. You may want to try a different brand. Or maybe I don't like the scent of eucalyptus. Try spearmint. Try lavender. But don't overlook aromatherapy. Now, funny enough, I don't know any other mother that shared this with me. But although I know babies are babies, I try to keep things peaceful around me. So in my baby bag, I always had a scent of lavender. And whenever my son would begin to cry, like I'm right now envisioning being at the pharmacy and he started crying. And I went into the bag and I found the little bottle of lavender oil and I allowed him to sniff it. That's all it took. It helped him relax. You see, when you take the opportunity to develop your experiences rather than remain idle. You learn a lot of things, and life becomes more, because I said lives, that means not only you, but people in your circle. I pay attention to my communication because messages are being sent. Now, as I was sharing with you, I just heard a car in the background making noise, which represents transportation. So what we are discussing or learning right now can help you to move forward. Everything has meaning. Be alert. But the messages that I was receiving just now was you taking the opportunity to try different things. Not only aromatherapy, not only water therapy, not only music therapy, but try different therapies. Then that will assist you with the flow of your life. Now, what I am in the spirit of saying next is the fact that we are all independent. And being a teacher for some time, I've learned that we learn differently. Some people prefer learning visually. Others are hands-on. They have to try it. Others, it has to be audio. They have to listen to it. Some prefer podcast episodes. Some prefer videos. Some prefer workshops. Nobody knows you better than your higher self. Pay attention to the words. What would that mean? Nobody knows you, after God, of course, better than your higher self. Why didn't I say better than you? Because a lot of us are not connected to ourselves. We don't even know who we are. We imitate others. We follow trends that take us backward, that don't assist us with our development. We submit to peer pressure. We don't make our own decisions. Some of you don't know who you are. You can meditate on that. But your higher self is connected to your inner self. And as you connect to your higher self, you will notice it will be advantageous for you. You will begin to notice progress in your life. You may want to read some material on higher self activation. Afford yourself opportunities to learn how to reach your own potential, your own highest potential. In that category, you win. Because you are in alignment with your mission here, with what you were supposed to learn during this journey. Some of you with your mission, your calling, various areas. I also assist with helping you discover the lessons that you were meant to learn here. Those of you that are interested, I'll be sharing my contact information later on. Now, quickly, I wanted to share a message, but I am looking for I hear the car again. I was about to say I'm looking for confirmation, but because I just heard the car again, that means move forward so I can give you the message. The message that I'm about to share and the person that it's for, it will resonate for you. And it may be more than one person. But you used to have a closer relationship with God. And He had big plans for you. Plans to align you with a prosperous life. Wow. Did you just hear that? I said plans to align you with a prosperous life. But you sped away. You left it behind. Now, what I want to tell you is, as you accept your present day, God wants me to reveal to you what He expected from you in return. Although you had secrets, but you were called to live out loud. Share your story in truth. Share how to overcome such challenges and obstacles and addictions and vices. You were supposed to be the example for your circle. You were expected to give hope and shine light. I am not by any means guiding you in that direction, but I'm sharing what I was asked to share. What was hidden from you. And so I will move forward with the lesson. Regarding music therapy. Spend few minutes alone, swaying to music. I didn't say dancing, although that's your option. But swaying is just letting go, moving with the music. I would recommend to be in a room where there's no clutter. There's open space. You can't trip, you can't fall. Right? And that you feel safe in. And that it's your personal space. And that you cannot be interrupted. Nobody can just barge in. This is your quiet time, right? And when I say quiet, that doesn't mean no sound to the music. That means going within, being present. So, as you sway to the music, with no restrictions in your movement, you can do this standing up. You can do this laying down. You could do this sitting down. You could do this by skipping. You could do this any way you choose, or every way you choose. Embody the lyrics. For example, if the lyric is, I'm so happy, embody happy. With no concern of, this is not the trend that's on social media. Be happy. I'm seeing someone stand up tall. I'm seeing someone smile. I'm seeing someone spin and spin and spin. And allowing the inner child within to enjoy the moment. Now, if it was in the category of abandonment, embody how you feel. I'm hearing a song by Toni Braxton. I think it's called Love should have brought you home last night. Brought you home last night. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Baby. Mm, mm, mm. I don't know all the words. I'm just hearing them. So, as you sway to that, you may even cry to that. You may even lay down and roll on the ground. You may even I'm trying to connect the dots here of what you may do. As I was having a vision just now, I received a message that I'll share with you after I was sharing my thought. After sharing my thought, the vision was this woman that is shaking her head back and forth like she doesn't believe the betrayal. And she has one hand up in a fist, and it's just moving back and forth. And she kneels up and she gets back up again, and she is just spinning, just letting go, just releasing. And towards the end of the song, she lifts both of her hands up and has fists in both hands. She's regained her strength. She believes, I am she and I can. Do you know how I can share these things with you? These are experiences I explored. I remember wanting to start a new chapter in my life. And I decided to walk away from relationships. I took a hiatus. Sometimes it's not even worth it. When you uncover certain toxicities that you wasted your time on. So, due to the fact that I was taking a break from relationships, I believe in using my idle time, and I had more time. So, due to social media, I received notifications regarding the area that I lived in and what community programs and events were being held. One of them being about empowerment. That was a season that I wanted to fortify my empowerment. So It was a 3-day retreat. And I went to the phone conference regarding the upcoming event. And there was a contest. Would you believe I won it? I won it. That retreat requested $600. Do you hear me? And I won a free ticket. It was God. That's what I'm hearing. God always favors me. And He knew it was because I wanted to grow in strength. It was about empowerment. And on the last day, because on the first couple of days, we learned so much about nutrition and exercise and networking regarding how we can help each other. For example, if you're a cook, who in here farms? Who in here provides for a Whole Foods market? It was an opportunity to network. If someone was a pet store owner and then somebody else was a pet groomer, they would connect. So there were different ways to arrive at empowerment. And I like that it offered a contact list so that everyone can have access to everyone. Now, it was your choice if you wanted to leave your information or not. But you would be required to share your information if you wanted their information. And it's allowed me to have connections with holistic doctors and yoga instructors, life coach, dentists, lawyers, nutritionists, farmers. There were people from all walks of life present. Now, on the last day, we did music therapy, where there was a song in relation to freedom, liberation. It was a rock song. I remember that. And we were all dancing to the music. But when I didn't understand the dancing, I took a pause, y'all, and I sat down. Because they were swaying and embodying the music. It was about freedom. and self-love and new beginnings. But because that was never introduced to me before, I took some hesitation. But towards the last song, I said, I'm not going to allow for this entire portion of this retreat to go to waste. And it was about being there for one another. Supporting each other. I felt strong. I felt like I was in the company of family. But after that, the last song, I believe, was about releasing. That is what left an impression on me. And because I didn't know a lot of what was going on, I just observed. Because that's how I am. I observe before I interact. Because I have to decide, am I comfortable with this? Because if I'm not, I'm out. I follow my intuition. If it's not for me, it's just not for me. Now, the last song was about releasing what still hurts. Whatever it is that still hurts, that you still have on your heart. At that time, I was disappointed with somebody. I believed in that person. Although we probably might be well, besides all of that, we are both in a good place right now. He is in living his best life, and I am living my best life. See, some people just are there for a season. Some people are not meant to stay, and that's okay. We teach each other lessons. Now, I want to share something. It mattered to him that I didn't view him as a bad person. I know this because after the disconnection, he called and told me, I'm not a bad person. I want you to know I'm not a bad person. Maybe he felt guilty about it. I don't know. But I want you to know I'm not a bad person. But I'm not perfect. And I have a different approach at life. I wanted to share exactly what he said. A different approach at life. What I do is not always understood. But I do it out of love. Now his understanding, his interpretation of what love is. Because that's another thing. We have to realize that love needs to be defined. When you have a close connection, you tend to know, not only tend, you know each other's love languages. You know how the person wants to be loved, and he knows how you want to be loved. You know what he appreciates, and he knows what you appreciate. You know what turns him off, and he knows what turns you off. You know your limitations, your boundaries, and he knows his limitations and boundaries. You're two peas in a pod, right? I don't believe in those relationships where you're not best friends with your partner. I believe having friendship at the base, at the foundation, many times is what keeps you together strong. Because life goes in different directions. And sometimes it's at different elevations. But if you have friendship at its base, you can always meet each other there. You do not have to be cruel to each other. You do not have to be disrespectful. You do not have to lose your integrity. And this is why people may not understand my approach in relationships because of my approach. Like, when it's over, it's over. And sometimes, oh, that means you never loved me. Oh, that means you're cold. Oh, no, it's not that at all. You see, when I'm in a relationship, I give my all, right? 100%. Of attention, devotion, support, transparency. I am your cheerleader. I'm your counselor. I share resources with you. You will never feel as if you are carrying the load alone. Never. I'm very giving and active in my relationship. You will never feel as if you are not loved, even if it is just me. Because some people don't feel loved. But you will know that you are loved by me. I remember something, I can never forget that, because no one has ever told me that before. There was one person that I used to be engaged to. I was just looking at him one day. We weren't even talking. I was just looking at him. And he captured me looking at him. And he said, you know you? No one has ever loved me like you. I see it in your eyes. I didn't have to verbally say it at that moment. Just sitting with him. He was intuitive enough to capture that frequency. All this to say, I give my all, right? And I'm very straightforward. I share my boundaries, my limitations, my pet peeves. If you're the type that like to be obnoxious or sarcastic, I bring it to your attention. I don't just sit there and take it. I bring it to your attention. Now, if you continue to do it, that's okay. Because that means you chose to not adult. And when I see I'm not in a relationship with adult, then I don't need to be in it. Because the only person or the only people eligible to be in a relationship with me is someone that is adulting. Right? So when I walk away, the reason I never debate on should I go back, should I not go back, is because I believe if you gave your all, there's nothing else you can give. If you gave all of your understanding, if you gave all of your encouragement, if you gave all of your hope, all of your love, and it still was not appreciated, or it wasn't suffice, it didn't bring satisfaction, there's nothing else to give. And I desire to live my life. That's why I'm here. And so with no hard feelings, it's okay. You taught me your lesson and I taught you my lessons. And we part ways. And to be honest with you, I usually never experience someone that is upset with me to the point where they're going to talk about me and say nasty things about me and so forth. I usually don't have that problem. People that I encounter tend to want to have some type of connection. Okay, if you moved on, I still want to be able to say happy birthday. I still want to be able to say happy new year. We could be cordial, right? But while I'm single. Because if I get into another relationship, nah. You respectfully get blocked. Because You need to be faithful to who you are, right? Who you are, but also to your partner. And if you're entertaining conversations with the past, it's very possible that you will have points and periods where flirting is part of the conversation, or mention of past interaction. And one of the reasons why cheating can occur is because it began with an emotional connection. Sometimes the friend was just a friend. But a chemistry was built. And the line was crossed. That is why when you have a significant other, it would benefit you to have a relationship that is also in alignment with them being your best friend. I'm blessed. Someone that accepts you as you are, someone that doesn't play about you. Someone that can't see life without you. Because you become that person, and that person becomes you. You are one. There's no separation. Without you, I can't be with me. And without me, you can't be you. Yes, some connections can get really close. And so you should always cherish them. Never betray them. Because there are not many opportunities in life to have a romantic relationship based on unconditional love. Always spend time analyzing your inner self, and never allow your issues or your lack of self-care in regards to your emotions, your behavior, and sometimes a diagnosis in the area of mental illness. It could be depression. It could be anxiety. It is wise that you are open with your issues. If you are a recovered addict, this is information that you would not want to omit when connecting with another earlier on in the relationship. I don't mean the first day now. I'm a realist. But if you want to take it somewhere, if you want it to be steady, that is definitely something you do not want to omit. Allow the person to make their own decision. Do I have enough to give in that type of connection or not? You see, the other person is healing from their issues as well. And your issues may trigger their issues. And their issues may trigger your issues. Right? Now, when we are open with each other and we understand each other and are willing to remain in each other's lives, then due to the awareness of each other's issues, we hold each other respectfully accountable in regards to those issues. We guide them towards resources to assist them with those issues. We do not separate ourselves or create walls with our partners, because that is the point of division. As you heal, he needs you to be part of that healing process. And as she heals, she needs you to be part of that healing process. Encouragement. For example, if it was depression, you've been very positive these past couple of days. Your self-care is helping things. I'm proud of you. If the person remains sober and they were an addict of some sort, I know you haven't been drinking the past couple of days. I can see the change in you. I am so happy that there is hope. I'm going to continue praying for you because you can beat this. You got this. And you got us. And we love you. You know, if someone is grieving because they lost a parent, I need you to open up to me because I love you and I want to be there for you. Don't keep me out. I remember some years ago, I make reference about him from time to time because we used to communicate a lot and share wisdom with each other. In fact, he assisted me with my growth process. Lessons I've learned from him is you don't have to give up early in the game, especially when you have somebody that is teachable, right? And someone that hasn't had any red flags with you, right? Sometimes we have a bad day, but for the most part doesn't have any red flags with you. Give it a chance. So that was the lesson I learned. But I brought him up because during our connection, his brother passed away. And he was so distraught about it because his brother was in another country. And he felt like he wished the last couple of years he was around. He felt like he lost time with him, and now he's gone forever. You know, sometimes it's like that when it's a younger sibling. You feel like you want to guide them. So, everyone approaches death in a different way. His reaction to the loss of his brother is to call me and say, we have to end things. And it took me by surprise, like, what is going on? Where did this come from? With some humor, because nothing was wrong. And he said, I got a call. I lost my brother this morning and I can't be myself. And that wouldn't be fair to you. I said, what are you talking about? Why would you end a relationship with someone that would support you during this time? Well, I'm just telling you, I'm not myself, and I don't know when I'm going to be myself, and I don't even know how I'm going to move forward, and I don't know this, and I don't, like, he was overwhelmed. I said, okay. But I'm going to be here for you regardless. And I meant what I said. And I remember the next morning I was teaching, right? So the next morning I went to McDonald's and purchased some breakfast and began knocking on his door. He was like, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you that I'm not myself and I can't be in anybody's company? I said, I know, but you still have to eat. And I'm not opening the door like a big kid. I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the back because he had a backyard. I'm going to go to the back and I'm going to leave the food in the patio. So when you're up for it, you have some breakfast. I'm not eating anything. I said, okay. Went to work, gave him some phone calls during the day. You okay? You okay? When he didn't respond to phone, I text. He replied, did you eat it? Yes, I wasn't going to waste your money. And the next day, I did the same thing. Probably for about a week. He started getting better. What about us going to the beach? He brought it up because he got stronger. He felt supported. We went to the beach. I saw a smile. All this to say, if you love someone, even you may be in your raw emotions, after you tell them go away, I can't be myself. You adult and you consider the value of that person in your life. What can I lose if I lose this connection? Well, I wouldn't have this emotional support anymore. And there are a list of other things, but we'll just stop there for now. Because it should be based on love, on how you make each other feel, on how you encourage each other. Like everything else comes in alignment when that is your foundation. You have to believe in your partner. If you don't, who will? If you teach them to be independent enough to become independent while in the relationship, there's a 50-50 possibility that the partner may say, what's the necessity of me remaining in this relationship? You know what's funny? As I was saying that, I said repaying. I was about to say remaining, but I said repaying. That's telling me that if someone was never there for you, what's the necessity to repay them? Repay them for what? Think about it. Because a lot of people make that mistake. I was watching something on social media maybe a year or 2 years ago. But some reason I connected with it. And it was a man in a nursing home And he was talking and sharing with men. Let's get serious. Let's treat our women good. Let's be there for our children. He said, you see me? I wasn't there for my children. I never respected my woman. Now I'm in the nursing home. Majority of the population are the women. They have guests. People come see them. People bring them gifts, care packages, sometimes meals. They come pray with them. I never get any visitors. And that just made an impression on me, because I knew men since my childhood that lived irresponsibly, and in their last days they died alone. I remembered these men. All this to say, carpe diem. And those of you that don't understand carpe diem, that's Latin for seize the day. Seize the day. Because your tears will be of no value when the person passes away. Treat people with love. That is the most powerful frequency there is. I heard someone say once, sometimes we forget what people said, but we remember how people made us feel. And I'm a believer of that. Because some people make you feel afraid. Some people make you feel rejected. Some people make you feel less than. Some people make you feel unimportant. Some people make you feel as if you are not in their category, as if they're above you. You're not in each other's grades. You're not their preference. And once you learn to love yourself, to embrace yourself, and to embrace the affirmations that others afford you with. Have a beautiful smile. Have a nice personality. You're so caring. You're so loving. You're so giving. God allows you to see yourself through Him by way of your encounters. They are messengers. He's always talking. We just have to learn to listen. I also heard somebody say, you love yourself by loving who loves you. And I also heard someone else say, an old friend of mine, love the one you with. People need to learn to love the one you're with. That was his reasoning. And I just shared it. It may mean something to somebody. But because I am always open to learning from each other by way of dialogue, I interject by sharing other people's beliefs, philosophies, approaches. I feel everyone has something to say. Now it is up to us to use our discernment. Does that make sense to me? Can it serve me any value? Again, exploration is what helps you to grow. So we need to learn to be more open-minded, to hear other people's points of view, to respect wisdom, maturity, integrity, love, and all the gifts of the Spirit. Just some recommendations. But as we continue with music therapy, that opportunity gave me an opportunity to release what I needed to release. It's like my hands were just releasing, wide open, just flowing, I don't need you anymore. That is not in alignment to my highest good. I'm releasing you. I'm releasing you to heal. And I felt lighter when I left the room, as if I was healed. And I really was healed. Healing is possible. Miracles do happen. Now, if you have intentions for healing, begin practicing listening to your inner self. Discover your feelings. Once that's determined, if you have issues with your intuition, those of you that do not feel you have a strong intuition. If you feel you have a strong intuition, you can do this just by your intuition. You can do this just by the downloads you get, by the messages you receive, right? We don't need a book. We don't need a search engine. But those of you that are in the early developmental stages, you can use your search engines and type in how you feel. Is it happy, sad, excited, overwhelmed? Whatever the case, you can insert that in your search engine, and then just type in song, and there will be a list of songs that are displayed on the screen. And then you follow your intuition to the song that you're guided to. Put that on. Listen to it. Listen to the music. Listen to the words. And if it makes you feel a connection, then listen to it again. And when you find your room without clutter, without things on the floor that can make you fall, embody the music and be in the flow of the music. If you feel as if you need to unload, you need to release, let it go. Open your hands wide. Shake them as if you were shaking it off of you. Shake your hands and just release it, release it, release it. Right? If you have to rock your head back and forth, if you have to turn around and just release it off of your body. You see, healing is a choice. But as someone who helps others heal, I feel as if you know when you're ready to heal, because you're desperate enough to try almost anything. When I needed to heal, I didn't discriminate unless I felt convicted about that approach. But as long as it is in alignment with God and my highest good, whether it's from a different culture, whether it's brand new to me, whether it looks weird, I explore. Right? And that is why I heal. Now, I want to give you a few couple of words regarding your feelings. If you are feeling angry, exercise will help. Maybe you want to run. Maybe you want to do jumping jacks. Maybe you want to ride a bike. But anger needs to be released so you can exercise. When you're lonely, spend some time outdoors. Go to the park. See the different people walking. I remember when I was in a stage in my life where I disconnected from everyone because I was healing, so I prioritized healing. I used to go to the mall by myself and just sit down on one of those benches just to be around people. Sometimes I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to have conversation. But sometimes you just want to be in the energy of people. Sometimes as they pass by, you hear conversations that connect to what you're going through, or that can assist you with healing, or that you can relate to, and you feel like, oh, I'm not alone. Somebody else is going through that. You'd be surprised. Now, at the parks, whether you're looking at birds or whatever animals that you come in contact with, observing them and feeding them. Feeding them is service. And doing service helps you heal. So you may want to consider those options. In regards to anxiety, maybe you would benefit from having, I believe it's called, well, I'll approach it like this. You may want to take the approach of exploring pet therapy, right? Pets are our companions. And it offers connection. Now, in regards to feelings and coping skills, what I have last listed is, if you're feeling overwhelmed, try counseling. Go talk to somebody. Someone that you feel will connect with you without judgment. Right? And that it will remain private. Those of you that have issues with trusting people because they've betrayed you, counseling might be an avenue that you want to consider. That could be part of building your support system. I encourage you to have more than one resource in regards to support system. Now, I'm being led to share something I used to do. I don't do it anymore because I'm very connected now. But there was a stage in my life where I wasn't that much connected due to the programming I was exposed to, how I was raised. Being critical on myself and so forth. Sometimes I woke up at night and I needed support. And I would call a prayer hotline. Now, I don't know if that service is still available, but I called a prayer hotline, and that person asks you to share what you want them to pray about. And you may say, depression, or whatever that's going on. And they pray for you, with you. You hear somebody that is offering support. Sometimes you just need to hear somebody that's on your side, right? And I believe in giving back. Because I believe in giving back, through the years, my prayers have developed in a manner where those in my circle recognize the power infused in them. If you want to be a prayer warrior, you ask God to guide you on what words you need to say, what community needs your prayers. You know, it was through a support group I attended that I learned about prayer walks, where you intuitively are guided to a certain neighborhood. And you just begin to pray for each household. You don't go knock on their doors. You can pray for one household or all the households. You may see a particular house and you keep that one in mind and you continue walking. God, who's ever in that house that needs your help, that needs your presence, that needs your encouragement, please intervene. Help them to search for your guidance. Help them to believe again. Help them to surrender to your will. Bring togetherness in that home. If any of them are sick, heal them. If they are having issues with finances, teach them how to budget. Teach them how to save. Teach them to offer charity to others, even when you are not making what you believe you deserve. If the money is not available to you, you should still be contributing some type of service. But when you have a little money, you should still assist those that God put on your heart. And assist people not because of who they are, but because of what is needed. Not because you want to flaunt. I gave this one this, and it's not about all of that. Although you should never bite the hand that fed you. that opens doors to karmic energies that enter your life. You should always give back to those that helped you. This is why when I was in seasons where I needed help, I always would have inner dialogues when I said, you know what? One day I'm going to pray with others. One day I'm going to counsel others. One day I always give back in some magnitude. Try it. Keyword is explore. Now, the reason why today's title is Clean Formation is because Formation was the channeled song. But I heard clean formation that guided me to find the clean formation, the clean version of formation to share with you. And it made me laugh. Because I know when I get these channeled songs, I get it. I know why that song was sent. I'm like, you guys are clowning today. My spirit guides and my angelic teams before I summarize the lyrics, something that was brought into my attention is why people give of themselves. One of the reasons why I was willing to go from one city to another, then go back to my city, and then go to another city. Like, it was a ride for me to drive there and give him breakfast and then go home and so forth. It's because what he already contributed in the relationship. It's because he showed me respect. It's because I felt honored. It's because he stood up for me. He protected me. I had an incident where right before I exited the highway, and a car hit me in the back. And I was upset about it. I was like, don't you see this is an exit? This is not where people are like rushing through, because you're exiting into traffic. Like, what's wrong with you? Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, this is my dad's car, and I really cannot afford to get into any trouble. Can we just exchange numbers? And this is my license. You can take a picture of it. And I remember when I got home, I called him and I said, this is what happened to me today. He said, why you didn't call the police? I said, well, I consider what he was saying. He said, never do that again. When this happens, call the police. How do you know he's going to give you the right address? And I said, well, I have his license. How do you know the address on the license is the address of where he lives? He said, I need you to give me his phone number, and I need you to give me his address. I'm going to go get the money for you, providing he is at that location. And I remember I mentioned it to my mom that so-and-so said he's going to go get, because I told her about the bumper as well. And I said, so-and-so said that he's going to go to his house and he's going to get the money for me and everything. She said, no. Call him. He's going there to defend you. Call him, because I don't want nothing to happen to him. This is something we could handle financially. So I don't want nothing to happen to him. He had a good relationship with my mom. Very respectful, you know. If we ever went out, listen, your mother trusted me with you. So we can't do this, we can't do that. Very respectful. And then, so I called him and I said, please don't go. He's like, why? I'm dressed. I said, please don't go because my mom said such and such. He said, I could go, just don't tell her. I said, no, it's okay. You see, women, I'll just say a lot of women, when a man comes correct, we meet you where you meet us. You could be with a woman and you don't know anything about her. You know why? A lot of women only give what you give. Now, if they give more, like I always do, I never give all of me if I'm not getting all of you. That's a lesson there. So many times you underappreciate people, but you have to consider how you treat people. If you make them feel unworthy, unwanted, unloved, really? You expect them to run a race for you? You expect for them to defend you when you don't defend them? You expect for them to protect you when you don't protect them? We have to wake up. As a people, yeah, it's time to wake up. So, getting back to the channeled song. I'm going to read the lyrics. And I'm going to try my best to just read the lyrics. But if my spirit moves me, yes, I may try to enjoy it to the fullest. Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. Paparazzi catch my fly and my cocky fresh. I'm so reckless when I rock my Da Vinci dress. I'm so possessive, so I rock his necklaces. My daddy Alabama, mama Louisiana. You mix that country, you mix that Negro with that Creole, make that Texas Bama. I like my baby hair with baby hair and afros. I like my Negro nose with Jackson 5 nostrils. Earned all the money, but they never take the country out me. I got a hot sauce in my bag, swag. I see it, I want it, I stunt, brown skin bonnet. I know she said yellow, but I'm flowing right now. I dream it. I work hard. I grind till I own it. I twirl on them haters, albino alligators. Sometimes I go off, I go hard, get what's mine, take what's mine. I'm a star. 'Cause I slay, okay, 'cause I slay, okay, we gon' slay. I slay, okay, I slay, okay. Ladies, now let's get information, 'cause I slay. Okay, ladies, now let's get information, 'cause I slay. Okay, ladies, now let's get information, 'cause I slay. Prove to me you got some coordination, 'cause I slay. Slay trick, or you get eliminated. I might get your song played on the radio station, 'cause I slay. I may get your song played on the radio station, 'cause I slay. You just might be a black Bill Gates in the making, 'cause I slay. I just might be a black Bill Gates in the making. I see it. I want it. I stunt. Brown skin own it. I dream it. I work hard. I grind till I own it. I twirl on my haters, albino alligators. Then the chorus continues. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. I slay. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. You know that when you the bomb when you cause all this confirmation. Always stay gracious. Best revenge is your paper. Now you know why I left. But this can be used for music therapy, because it gives you an opportunity to stand up. And sometimes we need to stand up. Because, yes, we have all them haters. And so I tried so hard to read it because I wanted to I enjoyed the flow. But there's a time for everything. There's a time to learn. There's a time to meditate. There's a time to laugh. Do you know laughter is part of healing? And so I laugh when I want to laugh. We all need to take opportunities that connect us to healing. And stop being so hard on yourself. Enjoy life. Take risks. Live your life. And smile. Because in God's eyes, you're beautiful. Now, I am going to take a couple cards to share with you. Grounding and support. That's interesting because there was a lot of support offered in today's episode. But the earth also supports us by way of grounding. And it also offers us opportunities to connect to our spirituality, because being outdoors offers you communication, whether you see them or not. There's a lot of communication out there. I'm hearing explore. Now, following grounded is Three of Cups. Friendship, socializing, flirtation, celebration. The Star. The Star again, back to back. Storm warning. Bittersweet. Finances. Now, those with spiritual understanding, I know that you get it. Being that there was mention of haters, the fact that you are a star and you are being seen as a star, there's an amplification of your stardom. Some oppose it. So there's a storm warning. Wow, I said storm warming. So it's heating up, right? But there's a storm warning. Bittersweet. And finances. You could read into that as well. Next card is Enabler. The enabler is a tempter. It's like when you know righteous movement is not being done, but you support the person. You do not correct the person or guide the person in a better direction. That makes you an enabler. Wow, next card says clarity, new plans, breakthroughs, opportunities, new beginnings. Beware of the snake. Next card. Following that, just know that you are very protected. And there are those that want war. Yes. Star blessings. Yes. Proceed. Be seen. Push through. Angel of freedom. Releasing limited beliefs. Confront your inner fears and anxieties of detachment. The veil. Missed opportunity, remorse or regret. Disillusion, stagnation, weariness. The lovers. Now I should make a note of that, because in the first pile, the star and the star came consecutively. And in this pile, I have the lovers and then the lovers consecutively. There is a message being sent from that pattern, and I will meditate on it. Joy and pleasure brings happiness to couples between. Joy and pleasure brings happiness to couples. But for some reason I said between. Well, probably between couples. And removes negative energy. Door to spirit. Okay, due to the fact that it says other, and then it says karmic relationship, that's telling me whoever it is, it's not the one, because it's a karmic relationship. Following that, it says gratitude. That is relaying the message that we need to begin to have gratitude when we are being guided in the right direction. And then it comes to harvesting. What that's revealing that you reap what you sow. Some of you are in the energy of ascension, and you're being called to live out loud. Determination. There are just received a message. Make space in your life for support. You need to be supported by God and your angels. And it continues by saying, something to the effect of, I lost the page, but I think it's relating to like we need to be led by God. That was the essence of the message. There are tests. So that's in alignment with that message, because the next card, it says tests, tension, brainstorming problems. Something in regards to changing efforts. Now, following that, healing. Adjacent possibilities. I love that because I offered you different opportunities for healing. So when it says healing, adjacent possibilities, that's saying there are many different ways to heal. The next one is service. Following one is in relation to meditation. So that's saying that meditation is part of healing. And then it says persecution. And inquisition that's saying that some of you have or take different approaches towards healing, and because it's misunderstood, or it is working, because if it is working, there comes the energy of jealousy, and if it's misunderstood, there comes the energy of attack, right? But it leads to being powerful, right? If you stand in your truth, you call the energy of being powerful to you. Now, the next card is seed. Then the following card says other. So, because of a seed that was planted, someone went in another direction. Wow, I just heard something. It's another message coming in. Angels and ascended masters want you to know that God believes in you and your gifts. It's a powerful message. Following that, tower, right? Tower, because it's being recognized that your choices can lead you to demotion or promotion. That it really is a thing, right? So now there's a tower. Tower can be positive or negative. Positive in the sense of ascension, and negative in the sense of rude awakening. So some are experiencing fear, anxiety, and stress. And the last card for today is whip. Some of those in our company are experiencing a can of whoop ASS from the universe. There is a need to learn universal law, respect universal law, and align to universal law. Now, I want to share I am a soul. I am not this face, these features. I am not made up of matter. This body is not me, but my instrument. I am a spiritual being. I have the form of light. This form thinks, feels, and decides. I concentrate on this one thought. I am peaceful, loving, and a happy being. I experience deep, powerful peace. I am in total peace. Although my content is posted on several platforms around the globe, I would like to invite open-minded spiritual beings to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Grace on a Journey, W, Angel Healing Express, no spaces. Grace on a Journey, W, Angel Healing Express. Following that, for service inquiries, I can be contacted at graceonajourney@gmail.com, and for donations, $ MsGraceInAJourney. Live by grace.